So the Guyanese Critic is coming to you from Main Street, heading to just outside Palm Court, where an individual known as Ricardo Fagundes was gunned down just moments ago. Quite a bit of a crowd has built up here. Crime scene investigators are on the scene. So for those of you who have just tuned into Daybreak News with Guyanese Critic, I'm coming to you from just outside the Palm Court, where Ricardo Fagundes, the individual has been identified as Ricardo Fagundes, has been shot and killed just on the road outside of Palm Court. This is Main Street. The circumstances surrounding what would cause someone to want to kill this individual is yet to be ascertained by the police. What I can tell you, it is execution-like killing, since one of the weapons used is thought to be an AK-47 high-powered rifle, suggesting that this was a hit. So seems somebody related to Fagundes. So for those of you who've just tuned into Daybreak News with the Guyanese Critic, I'm coming to you from Main Street, just outside, on Main Street, just outside of the Palm Court, where Ricardo Fagundes was gunned down within the last hour. Crime scene investigators are on the scene, and those numberings that you would see there would suggest that there are spent shells in the ground at those spots, and a high-powered rifle was said to be used in this killing, suggesting this was an execution. Crime scene investigators are on the scene and processing the scene. The general area has been cordoned off to maintain the integrity of the scene. and there are a number of onlookers. Where Fagundes was, if he was in the Palm Court at the time and coming out, is yet to be ascertained. I'm supposing in a police report we would have a better understanding of what transpired, since there is cameras right here. There's a CCTV, and this is government CCTV footage camera. I can tell you, I received information from a reliable source that there were two individuals in a white wagon car. Police are presently processing the crime scene, and since the body is there partially covered, there are a number of pointers being made by crime scene investigators suggesting that what you're seeing in the ground there is spent shells, and from the way the spent shells are would suggest that Fagundes might be coming across the road, or would have already reached across the road when he was confronted by individuals somewhere here, and the spent shells, high-powered automatic rifles, discharge its shells. AK-47 would discharge its shells to the right of the weapon, so the individuals would have been standing somewhere about here to have spent shells all about that area. And if you notice, this focus is to the eastern part of the body, just to give you an understanding of where we are. The Guyanese Critic is coming to you from Main Street, from Daybreak News, for Daybreak News, and the two halves of Main Street run from north to south. That is the southern direction you're looking at. This is Middle Street, and this is the junction of Main and Middle, and Middle Street runs off to the eastern direction there. So Palm Court sits at the western direction of Main Street. Would be the direction of the Demerara River. Just to give you guys an idea of where we are and how this is situated here. The body lays just at the corner of the road, actually on the pedestrian crossing at the western side, our western carriageway of Main Street. And markings that the crime scene investigators are putting on the road suggests that the individuals would have been at the eastern side of Fagundes, and he might have crossed the road from the bar and was shot and killed. He might have been going to his vehicle. Some family member is there and being consoled by some other individuals. What is the relation to Ricardo Fagundes is yet to be ascertained, but crime scene investigators are combing the scene, and there are a number of spent shells at the scene, and the critic has been reliably informed that a high-powered rifle was used in this crime, suggesting a hit execution style killing. The details about Fagundes and his association, what he was doing here, the Guyanese Critic will have for you on my morning live. The vehicle used in the commissioning of this crime was said to be a white wagon car carrying number plates PZZ. It is yet to be ascertained whether the police have video footage, since the establishment, Palm Court, has CCTV cameras at the front, where a next incident only a short while ago, maybe a year or so, was caught on CCTV footage, and they obviously will be helping police with their investigation. I see no reason for them not to help with the CCTV footage, but there's also a unit CCTV footage pole with a number of cameras at the corner here. This is government's CCTV footage unit, and that has no less than 4 cameras up there. So we're hoping that helps in the police investigation of identifying the killers here. Police are measuring where the body lay. For those of you who just tuned into Daybreak News with the Guyanese Critic, I'm coming to you from Main Street, Georgetown, Main, at the corners of Main and Middle Street, where an individual identified as Ricardo Fagundes has been gunned down execution style. Initial reports suggest this is an execution style killing, in light of the fact that it's said that 2 weapons was used, a high-powered rifle, namely an AK-47, and a small handgun. On the red and white there you're seeing is Fagundes' body, known as paper shards, and the markings, the yellow markings, some amounting to 15 markings, would suggest spent shells. So there are more than 15 spent shells on the ground at this time, and those are marked by the yellow numbered little widgets. Crime scene investigators are processing the crime scene, the body, to get a better understanding of what transpired here. And obviously this is going to be a detailed investigation. So for those of you who've just tuned into Daybreak News with Guyanese Critic, I'm coming to you from Main Street. You're looking at crime scene investigators from the Criminal Investigation Department processing the scene of what is being labeled an execution-style killing. The body of Ricardo Fagundes lies at the junctions of Main and Middle Street, just in the corner of the road on the pedestrian crossing, outside of the Palm Court establishment. He might have been in there earlier and had come out. For what reason is yet to be known, is yet to be ascertained. Investigations, as investigators process, crime scene investigators process the scene. There are markings that suggest some 15 spent shells lie on the ground. Someone who came out just after the shooting, came out of Palm Court just after the shooting, said that a white wagon car, and all they saw is number plate PZZ, was used in the commissioning of this crime. This normally is a very vibrant, active place, so I'm supposing the investigators are going to be talking. There are a number of vagrants that's be out here watching people vehicles, where the vehicle that Fagundes come here in has to be located. So in wrapping up, the Guyanese Critic is coming to you from Main Street for Daybreak News, where crime scene investigators are processing the execution-style killing of Ricardo Fagundes. So the clots that we saw there would have been shirts used to cover the body. How many bullet wounds the body has sustained is yet to be ascertained, but I can tell you the yellow numbered markers on the road would represent spent shells, and that is numbered more than 15 spent shells. A high-powered rifle, namely the AK-47, is suggested to have been used in this killing. The Guyanese Critic will have more details for you in my morning live. The Guyanese Critic coming to you for Daybreak News from Main Street, where an execution-like killing has just occurred on Main Street, outside of the Palm Court establishment.